We will move to our topic. Yesterday we have seen the climate of India, and we also seen that the differences between the climate and weather. Climograph also completed. There are four climographs shown in textbook which are related to the factors influencing the climate. Some factors are there which influence the climate. Okay, we have seen yesterday, that is latitude. Here we will see that this one, the latitude or distance from the equator. This we have completed. This is one of the factors of the climate which influences the climate of India. Next, land water relationship is there. So once again, recapitulating the latitude, how it influences what you call the climate of a place, right? The temperature at lower latitudes, that is at equator, is high. The temperature is low, moving from equator to either north pole or to the south pole, right? Because the temperature of a place depends on the nature of that place, right? And at lower latitudes, sun rays fall vertically, so there the insolation received in that area is high, so it becomes warm, right? It will be very hot, and insolation received at north pole and south pole are moving from equator to either north or south. Gradually it decreases, so the climate at equator is hotter than the poles. This is about the latitudes. The latitudes influence the climate of a place, right? This we have seen yesterday. Just have given a guess now. Now we move to another factor which influence the what you call climate of India. That is land-water relationship. Land-water relationship. My dear students, look at the figure 4.2. 4.2. Okay, this is the figure showing land-water relationship in relation to the what you call temperature. Okay, see, there is places which are near to the water bodies are cooler than the places which are from water bodies. This you know very well. But what is the reason behind it? Why does the places are cooler which are near to the water bodies? It is that the sunlight, what you call the insolation observed by the land and water bodies are different. There is sunlight, it is observed first, then it is radiated back, right? So here another point is that their land absorbs very fast and becomes cool very fast, whereas the water bodies absorbs temperature very slowly and becomes cool very slowly, right? This is one factor. My dear students, 71 percentage of the earth's surface is covered with water, so to make water warm it takes long time, right? And there is a 29 percentage of what you call land part is very small when compared to the water body, so it absorbs very fast, understand? So land absorbs very fast and releases heat very fast when compared to the water bodies in the sense oceans, uh, lakes, seas, ponds, streams, rivulets, all these come there. Okay, so here we see that when there is a difference in the absorption of temperature, absorption of heat, by land and water, we see that in the daytime, land becomes warmer and ocean becomes somewhat cool, right? Due to the temperature difference. Look at this figure I am pointing here. Uh, in the daytime, you will see that as the temperature difference is there between land body and water body, uh, due to that differences in the temperature on the water body, cool sea breezes will form. On the land, warm air will form. The warm air becomes light in weight and rises into the higher altitude, like this, which is shown in the diagram, the red arrow mark, right? And the sea breezes, which is cool, that is heavy in weight, it tends down, and this sea breezes starts moving from the water bodies to what you call a land body. So due to the temperature difference and due to the heat observed by the land and water, due to the what you call heat, due to the absorption of heat difference between land and water body, cool sea breezes will form, and these cool sea breezes blow from water bodies to land bodies. In that way, we see that the climate of a land part will be will be influenced by water bodies, so that the land part which is near to the sea or the coastal area or the ocean will experience a moderate climate. There won't be much differences in the temperature throughout the year. It may be the summer season or winter, or maybe what you call a cold season instead. So there we see that the temperature differences will be very less throughout the year. In all the seasons, the temperatures will be more or less equal. Okay, so this is daytime. Okay, daytime the sunlight falls, uh, that is a solar radiation observed by the land and water bodies, right? Whereas the insolation received by water body is high than the land body. So that differences in the absorption of heat by land and water body will generate cool sea breezes which blow from the water body to land body in the daytime. And night, what happens? It becomes reverse instead. I said that land absorbs very fast and becomes cool very fast when compared to the water bodies. So in the night time, what do we see? Land releases its heat very fast and becomes very cool. Water body releases very slowly, so that the water body will experience some temperatures. The warm temperatures are recorded on the water bodies than the what you call land bodies instead. So by night we see that cool land breezes, not sea breezes, cool land breezes starts blowing from land to the sea in the night. So by night, we see that there will be again maintaining the balance in the temperature. So in this way, every day in all the seasons throughout the year, we see the temperatures recorded on the places which are near to the water bodies will experience more or less similar temperatures. That kind of a climate we call equable climate. What we call equable climate. Why do we call equable climate? Because throughout the year the temperatures differences in the temperatures are very less. Instead, we may not find extreme differences like how we face in the sense, we are in Telangana. Telangana is far from the water body. So in summer we experience a 45 degree centigrade temperature. When it comes to the winter season, we experience some 20 or 15 degrees centigrade. So there's a lot of difference between the temperature of Telangana. But when you see that Chennai, Chennai is near to coastal area, my dear students. So the Chennai experiences a very moderate climate. Understand? It means equitable climate. It means we see that in the summer, in the winter also, the temperatures will be more or less equal. It means that in summer it may be some 20 degrees centigrade, and in the winter also we see that it is 18, 20, or 22. Like this, slight variation will be there. Okay, this slight variation we find on coastal areas because that area is near to the water body. So there is a land water relationship is there. Understand? Due to the water bodies which are present near to some land part, there we see such places experiences equitable climate. Understand? So this is because of land water relationship. Understand? I'll take you to the same what you call climograph, my dear students, so that you can understand looking that how is temperature and rainfall distribution in Chennai. Dear students, look at this. This is the what to call a Chennai climograph. Understand? What do you see here? The average maximum temperatures, mean maximum temperature. How much it is there? The red line here. I am keeping the dots, my dear students. Look at this. This one. Okay. It is what to call some 27 is there. Okay, 27 it started and reached to what you call maximum it is 36, understand, right? Then minimum temperature you see which is the blue line, that is 20 mean minimum temperature, and it is 25. So 20 to 25 5 degrees centigrade temperature difference is there, right? And here 28 it is 28 to what you call 20, 36, near about some 8 to 9 degrees centigrade difference is there. That is also very less. Understand? If you observe these two lines, mean minimum temperature, that is a green line, mean maximum temperature, which are more or less uh, same from January to December, right? This is what you call Chennai, because why does the Chennai recording this kind of temperature? Because it is near to the coastal area. Understand? Going to the what you call this where it is Delhi, you see that, my dear students. Delhi is far from the coastal area. Once you look at that mean maximum temperature of Delhi and mean minimum temperature of Delhi, there's a lot of variation, right? You see that mean maximum temperature of Delhi, it is what you call 23 degrees centigrade, and the maximum reaching to 45. So it is near about 20 degrees centigrade temperature difference is there in the mean maximum temperature. Similarly, in mean minimum temperature differences also we find that it is 5 degrees centigrade and it is reaching to 25. Almost 20 degrees centigrade difference is there, right? Because it is not influenced by the water body. Why does not it is influenced by water body? It is far from the water body, so that it experiences continental climate. The places which are far from water body experiences continental climate, and the places which are near to the water bodies like Chennai experiences maritime of climate or equitable climate. So what we see here, the climate of a place is influenced by the land and water relationship. Land and water relationship. So land and water relationship is a factor that influences the water uh, climate of a place. Are you clear? Next, we will see here what to call this. Here it is already we studied. This is in ninth class. The pressure belts is there, right? So once go through the ninth that textbook atmosphere lesson, there you can understand, right? So here it is there. See, throughout the year, day and night, I am highlighting the point by selecting the temperature differences. Huh? Dear students, look at this one. This one. What do you see? There is a what to call temperature differences in the day and night, and that of summer and winter are not so much variation. That is called equatable climate. So there is equatable climate in Chennai, as it is near to the coastal area. If you take Mumbai, Mumbai also near to the coastal area. In examination, you don't expect that Chennai will be asked. They may ask any place which is near to the what to call oceans or water bodies taking around from the world. Okay, next we will see that relief, another important factor which influences climate of a place is relief. Okay, you have know that temperature decreases as the height, that is altitude, increases, right? On the hills and mountains there will be low temperatures than the temperatures on the plain areas. Therefore, altitude of a place influences the climate of an area, right? Have you observed that several hill stations which are in Himalayan regions will experience very cold climate, right? In the first chapter, we have studied Simla, Gulmarg, Nainital, Darjeeling. When it comes to southern India, Udagamandalam, that is Ooty, Kodaikanal, all these are the places which are at a greater height. So there the temperature is very less. Instead, moving from Earth's surface to higher areas, the temperature decreases, right? Which you studied in ninth class. That is, atmosphere is becoming heat by terrestrial radiation. Atmosphere is not heated by the solar radiation. It is heated by the earth radiation, that what we call terrestrial radiation, my dear students. Instead, right? So when it is heated by the earth's radiation, we see that lower layers of the atmosphere records high temperatures than the upper layers of the atmosphere. Hence, what do we say? That moving from lower latitude to higher latitude in atmosphere, temperature gradually decreases. That is the reason we find the pleasant atmosphere and cold, what to call a very cold climate in the hill stations instead. So this is another factor which influences the water climate of a place instead. That is relief. Relief in the sense height. Okay. Are you clear, my dear students? Next, moving to one more factor which influences the water climate of India, that is upper atmospheric circulation. Okay. These are very important. What is upper atmospheric circulation? So going back to ninth class atmosphere lesson, there you have seen different pressure belts across the globe, right? Equatorial low pressure belt at equator. Both sides of the equator, we have seen subtropical high pressure belt, right? So winds blow from one belt to the one belt to the another belt instead. So here we see that trade winds which blow from subtropical high pressure belts to the equatorial low pressure belt, reflecting towards west because of the Coriolis effect. The winds bend towards west, right? And they blow throughout the year in a particular direction. They do not change its direction. Understand? As they do not change its direction, we call them trade. The word trade has come from track word. Track means blowing steadily in the same direction. What is meant by track? Blowing winds blowing steadily in the same direction. Winds blowing steadily in the same direction is called track. That is a German word. and when it is converted into English word, it is a trade. So those winds, trade winds blow on subtropical high pressure belt to equatorial low pressure belt. Our India is situated in northeast trade winds belt, dry northeast trade winds. Okay, in that belt, our India is located. Understand? So what happens there here, right? We see that at 12,000 meters above from the sea level in atmosphere, some air current is generated, and that air current blows with a speed of 110 kilometers per hour in summer and 184 kilometers per hour in winter. Such winds which blow with high velocity are called jet streams. We call them jet streams. Jet streams are fast flowing air currents, and these fast flowing air currents are generated at 25 degrees north latitudes, and at this latitude these jet streams blowing in that area will reduce the temperature of its neighboring places, my dear students, so that the neighboring places at 25 degrees latitude will be affected by the jet streams. So the jet streams will bring down the temperature of neighboring places around 25 degrees north latitude. So here we see such a jet streams are bringing change in the climate of a place. So it is called a factor of the climate. Understand that what we call upper air current or upper air circulation. Okay, air is circulated with a high velocity in upper layers of the atmosphere at 12,000 meters from the sea level. So that is called upper atmospheric circulation. So there are four factors which influence the water climate of a place. Instead, one is latitude, second is land water relationship, third is relief, that is altitude or height of a place, and fourth is upper atmospheric circulation. Okay, let us relate these four factors with clamographs given in the textbook. Okay, I'll take you again to the same clamographs to make you understand here. Okay, look at that. Your this is what you call New Delhi. Instead, the first graph one is showing the New Delhi Clemo graph. Understand? Then second graph two is related to the Leh, which is present at Jammu Kashmir. Right? So, my dear students, here you see that New Delhi and Leh. Leh is situated at a greater height, right? Delhi is situated somewhat lower height. Understand? So as Delhi is at lower height, then it is recording high temperature, whereas Leh is recording very less temperature. Look at this mean maximum temperature present in the Leh. Okay, dear students, see the where I am keeping the dots. That is mean maximum temperature in Leh. How much it is there? It is, see, just 2 degrees centigrade. See, 0, 5, 10 is there. So it's starting at a 2 or 1 degree centigrade, going up to 23 degree centigrade. Understand? 23 degrees centigrade, right? Whereas Delhi, you see, taking you to Delhi, okay? Delhi is there here, you see that. It is 23 degrees centigrade mean maximum temperature, and reaching to highest point, that is 45, right? So there's a lot of difference in the temperatures of mean max temperature. There is a lot of difference in mean maximum temperatures of New Delhi and Leh, right? So it is the what height, right? So why does these two places have differences in its temperature and rainfall, right? It is because Leh is situated at a greater height and Delhi is situated at a lower height. So these two graphs, graph one, graph one, graph two, right, will be giving clear-cut explanation that how the factor relief influences the climate of a place. Instant. Again, this can be compared. In another word, see, graph one Delhi with Chennai. Instant. Chennai is near to coastal area, right? So it experiences a moderate climate. Whereas Delhi is, this is Delhi, my dear students. Delhi is far from the coastal area, right? So it there is no impact of the water body on Delhi. So in Delhi, the temperature is high. That is extreme variation is there, right? Mean, minimum temperature and mean maximum temperature. In between these two, lot of differences. Extreme variation, high variation is there in the temperatures recorded at Delhi, whereas at Chennai, there is very little variation in temperatures recorded at Chennai. Understand? So why it is recorded very less in Chennai? It is near to coastal area. So what is the factor which bringing change in the climate of a place? It is land-water relationship. So when you write explanation about the land-water relationship, you can take the example of Chennai, that is graph 4 with graph 1. When you are writing about the relief feature, you can compare the graph 1 with graph 2, that is New Delhi and Leh instead, right? And another is what you call Jaipur, understand? Jaipur also far from the water bodies instead. So, and this can be taken that land water relationship again. Okay, how there is we see Jaipur, it is a plain area, there is no tree cover, right? So the darker areas means the land where forest cover is there, it observes the temperature much more, right? And they radiates very less. Whereas lighter areas where the snowfall is there, that will reflect what you call into the at a space instead. So as it is covered with sand, Jaipur desert area in western part of Rajasthan, there it is high temperatures are recorded. Understand? So these are the four factors, my dear students, which influence the water climate of a place. Understand? And these factors also the factors of the weather. In examination, you may find a question that describe the factors influencing the climate. That's a direct question. Sometimes they may change that describe the climatic controls. It means you should explain each and every factor of the climate to confuse you. The question will be tested that explain the factors which influences weather. In place of climate, they ask weather, right? So factors for climate and weather are similar. Understand? For weather and climate, the factors are same. There is no differences in between that one. Okay. Next, we will see that seasons. Understand how the seasons are taking place in India. Okay. Look at here. We are going to the another topic, that is seasons. Understand temperatures in India, that is Indian landmass, reduces from mid-November, and mid-November in the sense middle of the November, gradually we see that the temperature reduces till February. Understand what is the season from November to February? It is a cold season, right? And in that cold season, especially January is the coldest month. At that month, in that month, the temperatures of a day drops below 10 degrees centigrade uh, in many parts of the country instant, and especially we see that cold weather is experienced in northern India, understand, whereas in southern India, especially in coastal area, we see moderate climate where the temperature will be above 20 degrees centigrade. My dear students, can you find here the factor which is influencing the climate of a place? Instead, let me say to you that why does it is 10 degrees centigrade throughout in the northern part of India in the winter season, right? And why does the temperature is 20 degrees centigrade at a coastal area in southern India, right? Southern India is near to equator, right? And north India is far from the equator. Equator is a low latitude, 0 degree latitude. So at 0 degree latitude the temperature is recorded high because the insolation is high. Moving from equator to Tropic of Cancer, we see that gradually there is temperature decrease. Understand, right? Another thing, that means latitudes, we see here latitudes, latitude influence is there, right? That is one point. So many factors are there which work out on the climate of a place at a time. Understand? Don't think that when latitude is affecting, there won't be the influence of height. Understand? It may work out, it may not work out. Understand? So several factors may work out. Just now I said latitude, showing the North India, Southern India. Southern India is near, right? And another thing that it is winter, I said. Winter in the sense November, December, January, February, right? So what happens here in these months, the sun stands at southern hemisphere. In lower class you studied that on March 21st, September 23rd, sun stands at equator, right? Then June 21st, sun stands on Tropic of Cancer. And December 22nd, sun stands on Tropic of Capricorn. Where is Tropic of Capricorn? It is, I'll show you the Tropic of Capricorn. Yeah, okay, look at my dear students. This is the thing. So Tropic of Capricorn is this one. So it is November. November in the sense, see, September 23rd on equator. September, October, November, December. So on December 22nd, at a Tropic of Capricorn. So sun rays fall vertically in southern hemisphere, which is southern hemisphere instead. So here in the southern India, right, there will be what you call high temperatures instead. And another thing that it is water and land relation also there. Water body observes the temperature very slowly, right, and releases very slow. So the winds blowing from Indian Ocean will influence the climate of southern India, whereas North India, on North India, the influence will be very less. Understand? So here, my dear students, we see here the temperature in the month of January, it will be 10 degrees centigrade in the many parts. Coming to coastal area, we see the temperature recorded is 20 degree centigrade because the places are near to the what you call coastal area. Understand? Next, we see that during this winter, the weather starts becoming cool. there will be clear sky and low humidity will be there and cool breezes starts. There is cold wind blowing, okay, and low humidity in the sense water vapor present in atmosphere is very low. The sky appears very clearly without formation of the clouds instant, and cyclones will form in the Mediterranean Sea instant. Why does cyclones will form in the Mediterranean Sea? Due to the temperature differences, cyclones will form in the west, what you call Mediterranean Sea. So from that place, from the west Mediterranean Sea, we see that winds blowing towards India will bring certain rainfall over North India instead, and that will what you call enough to grow the crops in Rabi season. Instead, only 1 minute is there. We are going to end the class, my dear students. Instead, so what we study here, it is that the factors of the climate. Instead, and winter season also to some extent will continue winters in next class. Instead, today the home assignment is that you write that what are